When discussing low-cost carriers, one of the names that comes up to mind is AirAsia, an airline that you may all be too familiar with if you travel around Southeast Asia. Following the footsteps of Ryanair and EasyJet in Europe, the Malaysia-based airline group, combined with the other subsidiaries, formed the fifth largest airline in Asia when it comes to passenger traffic, with an impressive average load factor of every flight of about 85%. Since AirAsia took off and the growth of low-cost airlines in Asia, it is easy to attribute its success to the popular advertising, the low fares, and its viral campaigns. But AirAsia's success could be attributed to the favorable conditions and a brilliant network and organization that has made AirAsia the leading low-cost airline of the region. To briefly sum up the history of AirAsia, it was first founded in 1993 as a government-owned conglomerate in Malaysia and started its first flights in 1996. Its situation was a far cry from the current success it's having now, as it faced financial difficulties as well as the Asian financial crisis in the late 1990s. Its financial situation was so bad that it owed nearly $11 million or about 40 million Malaysian ringgit in debt. While everybody seemed to have written off AirAsia, Tony Fernandez, an ambitious former executive of Time Warner and the Toon Group, would end up purchasing the airline at a price of less than $1. AirAsia would start offering fares of less than $1 for its flights out of Kuala Lumpur, and the rest of the story is history. Among the major contributing factors to the success of AirAsia has been the geography of Asia, as while there are land masses, most of the major routes require travel overseas, including domestic markets such as the Philippines and Indonesia, both archipelagos made up of over thousands of islands. The low-cost carriers like AirAsia changed the game, offering cheaper options and often opening up new routes between these cities, many of them within 3 to 4 hours of each other by jet. And unlike Europe, where there are alternative airports for certain cities, many Asian cities such as Kuala Lumpur, Cebu, and Singapore have just one primary commercial airport, which made the cheaper alternative options provided by AirAsia much more attractive. This leads to the point of how AirAsia has organized itself to serve the Asia Pacific. With Asian countries known for having protectionist laws protecting its own industries as different, unique cultures, AirAsia has opted to operate separate, independently run subsidiaries in different key markets of the Asia Pacific region. At present, there are 7 active AirAsia subsidiaries, with the main based in Malaysia, joined by affiliates in Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, India, and Japan, with long-haul subsidiaries AirAsia X operating out of Indonesia and Malaysia. This has allowed AirAsia to major regional domestic markets such as the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia, which opens up the opportunity for AirAsia to offer connecting options between domestic and international flights within the country. If there's anything about operating in different countries, local knowledge and networks are key to success in any business, and AirAsia has leveraged this perfectly with its subsidiaries in different countries. And while one would expect to be confused with the different brands of AirAsia, the company has maintained a consistency in its branding, marketing, and its key operations. Regardless of which flight you're on in each different country, travelers could expect to see the same identity of AirAsia with the in-flight publications, in-flight menu, cabin crew uniforms, and the aircraft used on the flights. Travelers can book their travel through the AirAsia website and manage the rewards points through the same platform. While operating separately, AirAsia maintains a consistency with the Airbus A320 and the Airbus A330's 40 long-haul AirAsia X operations, which follows the core principle of the low-cost carriers operating a similar fleet throughout the network, reducing costs for maintenance and operations. Since being on the brink of closure, AirAsia's turnaround to becoming Asia's most well-known low-cost airline and brand has resulted in turning Southeast Asia into its aviation playground and changing the aviation and travel landscape in the region. AirAsia is a perfect example of a business expansion throughout Asia, keeping its core identity while operating with local knowledge and expertise. What are your thoughts on the model of AirAsia's operations, and how could the airline expand further in the region? If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching again, and have a great day.